Miguel's story begins to unfold in a hospital, a place that should represent hope, but for him only brings pain and loneliness. After being diagnosed with a degenerative disease, Miguel is forced to leave his beloved farm, where he has spent his entire life cultivating not only crops, but also unbreakable bonds with his animals, especially Estrela, his horse. The cold, white walls of the hospital surround him, and every day the feeling of imprisonment intensifies. He looks out of the window and sees the green field, the flowers he used to tend, and the freedom that now seems like a distant dream. The image of Estrela trotting freely is a painful memory, a wound that opens up every time he tries to imagine life without her. With his body weakened and unable to move, Miguel also faces the emotional battle raging in his mind. Visits from family and friends are a temporary relief, but the truth is that none of them can understand the depth of his pain. He feels like he's on a boat adrift in a sea of sadness, not knowing if he'll ever be able to return to his previous life. The nights are the hardest, when the loneliness becomes unbearable and thoughts of Estrela haunt him. He wonders if his companion from so many adventures still remembers him, if she is still well, if anyone is looking after her as he would. These questions become a vicious cycle of worry and despair. The emotional weight is so great that Miguel feels his heart squeeze with every beat. He knows that life is slipping through his hands, and with it, the possibility of saying goodbye to Estrela in a dignified way. This awareness eats away at him and makes him feel powerless. In the midst of all this, the idea of seeing her again becomes a light at the end of the tunnel, but this hope also brings with it a new challenge: how to make the visit a reality. The hospital's policy is strict, and although his friends try to bend the rules, Miguel feels anguished when he realizes that he may never see his love again. He refuses to believe that his story with Estrela could end like this, but the pain of it is unbearable. Miguel's determination to find a way to see Estrela becomes a vital force that, even in the darkest of circumstances, ignites the flame of hope. While the hospital continues its daily routine, Miguel begins to visualize a plan. He won't give in easily. His connection with Estrela is stronger than any physical or institutional barrier. The challenge now is to gather support and determination, but above all, the belief that true love can overcome any obstacle. It is this belief that drives him to fight, not just for himself, but for all those he loves deeply. He knows that the next step is crucial and that this fight will be his last great battle. But Miguel is not willing to give up. His journey is just beginning, and the hope of seeing Estrela again is the force that will guide him through the darkest days. Determined to fulfill Miguel's wish, his friends begin to mobilize the community. They meet in a small cafe, discussing ways to get around the hospital's strict rules. One of them, Carlos, suggests a direct approach, talking to the hospital director. Although everyone recognizes that this could be a long shot, Miguel's hope is contagious, and the idea quickly gains momentum. The town, which has always admired Miguel for his generosity and courage, unites around a greater cause, giving Miguel the farewell he deserves. In the days that follow, a wave of support floods the social networks. Posts are shared, and the hashtag Viva Miguel begins to circulate, drawing the attention of local journalists. The community organizes a vigil in front of the hospital, and even those who don't know Miguel join the cause, touched by the story of a man who has dedicated his life to caring for others. In every corner of the city, people make banners, bring flowers, and write letters to Miguel, expressing their love and solidarity. This outpouring of support not only gives Miguel strength, but also brings a sparkle to the tired eyes of the nurses and doctors who witness their patients struggle on a daily basis. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Miguel receives news of the mobilizations. He feels moved and incredulous at the same time. The voices of support seem to echo in his mind, warming his heart. The idea that so many people care about him is almost indescribable. This renewed strength gives him courage to face another day, even in the midst of the pain and limitations that the disease imposes on him. With each new update on the vigil, Miguel feels his determination grow. He knows that the fight is not just his, it's everyone's who loves and cares. Finally, after days of negotiations and an avalanche of public support, The hospital director agrees to make an exception. He is struck by the letters and the solidarity of the community, realizing that Estrela's visit is not only Miguel's wish, but also an act of humanity. The day of the visit is scheduled, and the whole town seems to be buzzing with anticipation. Miguel receives the news in a moment of deep emotion, surrounded by his family and friends. He closes his eyes and visualizes Estrela trotting through his mind, his heart racing with joy. The unity of the community and Miguel's determination intertwine, creating a feeling that, no matter what, they have won an important battle together. Now, as the date approaches, every person in the town is preparing to witness a moment that will change not only Miguel's life, but also the way everyone views love and friendship. The long-awaited day finally arrives, and an electrifying atmosphere hangs in the air. Miguel, surrounded by friends and family, is sitting in his electric chair, his heart pounding with anticipation. The window of the hospital room becomes a portal of hope, and every minute that passes seems like an eternity. As the city mobilizes outside, the sounds of laughter and music echo, forming a vibrant chorus that transforms the hospital environment. The door opens slowly, and a nurse walks in, bringing the news everyone has been waiting for. Estrela is on her way. Miguel's heart almost stops. He never imagined that this moment would come true. Finally, the sound of Estrela's hooves echoes through the hospital corridors, and emotions reach a deafening peak. When the door to the room opens again, Miguel sees his beloved horse, beautiful and radiant, her coat shining in the sunlight. Tears run down Miguel's face as he calls out to her, and Estrela, as if sensing her master's call, moves quickly towards him. The world around them disappears, and all that matters is the connection between them. The moment is magical and transformative. It's as if time has stopped. The walls of the hospital become insignificant in the face of the love that overflows between Miguel and Estrela. Friends and family, who were nervous and anxious before, now become mere spectators of a reunion that touches everyone's heart. Miguel's eyes shine with joy and gratitude. He touches Estrela's mane, and for an instant, all the pain and suffering seem to disappear. The two share an intimate moment, a silence full of meaning that speaks more than 1,000 words. The people around them, touched by the scene, can't hold back their tears. The power of love, friendship, and community is revealed in its purest form, making everyone realize that, despite the difficulties, emotional connection is what really matters. The scene is filmed by journalists and recorded on cell phones, capturing the essence of this encounter. It's a moment that transcends physical space and touches the soul of each person present. Miguel whispers words of love to Estrela, and in that instant, he is reminded that, even in the darkest situations, hope and connection are powerful forces that can change lives. He realizes that he is not alone on this journey, and that the community has come together for a greater purpose. The climax of Miguel's story is not just about a man in search of a horse, but about the strength that unity and love can have in the face of adversity. This moment will become an eternal memory, not just for Miguel, but for everyone who witnessed this beautiful celebration of life. Just for those of you who like a good story and have watched to the end, leave your comment below from which city you're watching, and I'll leave a heart in your comment. Bye, and see you in the next video.